Richard Virenque is now 16 seconds behind. The Pirate's gone again. Up on the inside he went, and this is his third big attack. And this time there is no reaction.
Well, Armstrong's not going to react. He's going to wait for someone else to set the pace there. But Pantani, what a man. He has hit them I don't know how many times, Phil. He's gone again and again.
Just before the steepest climb, Contador looked back at Lance. Was that teamwork? Or a last, fuck you?
El viento viene, el viento se va por la frontera.
Alberto Contador and Marco Pantani, two giants in the pro peloton. Both riders' careers littered with controversy, suspicion and doubt. Mainly one more than the other, but still, there is one thing there is no doubt about in these riders: their climbing abilities. Now, although Contador never won on the Alpe, he set the race alight in 2011, breaking away from his GC contenders to take a third place on that stage. Pantani, however, was the master of the Alpe on two separate occasions in 1995 and 1997. So it's time to pit them against each other in a battle up Alpe de Zwift. So comment below before the race gets underway, who is your money on? El Pistolero or Il Pirata? Comment below. Now, thanks to modern technology, we can pit two riders from two separate generations against each other. We've taken data from Contador's effort up the Alpe in 2011 and Pantani's 1997 win to recreate this battle. Alpe de Zwift finishes 2k short of the original Tour de France finish and has 40 metres less climbing. However, it is still long, it is still arduous, and it is still epic. And take my word for it, it bloody hurts going up here. So sit back and enjoy this fight as we pit Alberto Contador against Marco Pantani. For those of you who don't know, Alpe de Zwift consists of 21 hairpins, just like the real-life Alpe d'Huez. It's 12.2 kilometers in length and an average gradient of 8.5%. If you've ridden this on Zwift on a smart trainer, you know that it's not fun. However, there is a huge sense of achievement being able to climb this within the confines of your garage or your conservatory. Pantani, one of the greatest climbers from the 90s. He had such an iconic style where he'd drop himself onto the drops and he'd climb out of the saddle on the drops. It was, I mean, you knew when he was coming. And Contador is exactly the same. Contador was known for being able to get out of the saddle and stay out the saddle for extraordinary amounts of time. As you know, as a rider, if you've done any climbing at all, you will understand how hard and how demanding it is when you get out the saddle, not only on your legs, but also that upper body. So for Contador to be able to get out of that saddle and stay there for so long meant he could be one of the greatest climbers of his own generation. So leave a comment below as well. Let us know if you are from the Pantani era or the Contador era. And if you are, what was your greatest moment from these two riders? Was it the overall general classifications that they won? Was it the stages that they won? It'd be great to hear your thoughts on these riders, especially Marco Pantani, because there's a lot of kids nowadays growing up in this generation who probably have no idea who he is and what he achieved, albeit doped up to his eyeballs. But still, hey, I'm not condoning it, just saying that was what it was. So while the riders are battling it up Alpe de Zwift, let me fill you in with some facts that you might not necessarily know about our two riders. First and foremost, Pantani was known as the Pirate. He was known as the Pirate because he'd always wear a bandana, a big hoop earring, and, well, he'd look like a pirate. All he needed was the peg leg, really, and he would have been there. In 1992, he won the Amateur Giro d'Italia, and he did the double in 1998, winning both the Giro and the Tour de France. Not only that, but he is the fastest man ever up Alpe d'Huez. I mean, you know, he had a lot of help, if you know what I mean. It's said, and by the way, our statistician told me this, so if this fact's wrong, well, I think this fact is wrong, to be fair. Let me tell you what is wrong. Marco Pantani had such a low resting heart rate, no doubt, that he had to wake up in the middle of the night to ride his bike for 5 minutes to increase his heart rate so he wouldn't die. I think it might be because his blood was like treacle, and had he not got up and exercised and pumped that blood around his body, that he would have probably died of a heart attack rather than the fact that his heart was so slow. Because if your heart's that slow at beating, then that just means it's very efficient. Anyway, Contador's nickname is El Pistolero because of his trademark victory celebration. Pew pew! This is an interesting fact, he was born with a brain condition which meant that he had to have risky surgery in 2004. He actually ended up collapsing at the opening stage of Vuelta a Asturias, and it almost ended his season and his career, so hey, we're lucky to have Bertie in our midst still. He won the 2007 Tour de France at aged only 25, and he became the 5th rider of all time to win all 3 Grand Tours. His career ended by winning one of the hardest mountain stages in Spain, Angrilla in Vuelta a España. Facts you didn't know about Pantani and Contador. If you've got any interesting facts, leave them in the comments below. Back to the action. So the riders are now negotiating the last few hairpin turns. As you can see, it's a surprise to me, probably as it is to you as well. But Alberto Contador is leading the way. He is heading up the Alpe and he is further up the road than Marco Pantani. If this was real life now, would he have been fit enough? Would he have been strong enough to maintain that speed? If Pantani was on a bike of our generation, a bike that Contador would have ridden, if Pantani was on a Trek Madone in this era, would he have been able to keep up with Contador on this form? If Pantani was clean, would he have been able to keep up with Contador? And here's another question. How do you think a rider like Alberto Contador would have survived in the 90s era of cycling? Do you think our riders of this generation are a little too pandered now with their big team buses and their 20,000 helpers and their multi-million pound budgets? Do you think that riders nowadays just have it too easy compared to the 80s and 90s? Do you think if they went back to that era that they'd be able to survive? Comment below and let us know. Contador's turned the last hairpin now. He is heading up and he's going to see the finish line in sight any minute as he crests this last little bit of the climb. It's close, I'm not going to lie, it is close. And if this was real life now, Pantani would be digging in. He would be giving it everything right now. He would be pushing to the absolute limit, hoping that all that blood that has been infused with goodness knows what would just pump a little bit faster, drive that oxygen around those legs a little bit quicker. That lactic acid would be removed just a little bit quicker and he could find the energy to just attack one more time to get onto the back wheel of Alberto Contador before the finish line. 200 meters to go now for Contador. There's just over 100 meters in it. And these riders have been climbing for the best part of half an hour now. It really is a lot closer than I actually thought it was going to be. And the shoe is on the other foot because I thought Pantani with his conventional ways for the era, but very unconventional when it comes to morals and ethos. I thought he'd be taking the win, but obviously not. It is all Contador all the way to the line. He's got 50 meters to go now, and Contador is going to take the win. There you go. Contador crosses the line. Alberto Contador takes the victory. Marco Pantani finishes second. Only 100 meters in it at the end. That was a close race. Let us know who we should send up the Alpe next. Do you have a favourite climber you'd like to see take on the Alpe against somebody else? If so, leave a comment below, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. Until next time, don't do drugs.